Cvent Connect Europe is back and it's bigger than ever. This is your final stop for everything from the latest tech trends to industry updates. But you already knew that. You can expect to meet over 1,000 event, marketing and hospitality professionals who are all ready to network and share their best practices, providing the best for their customers. But that was obvious. As well as amazing celebrity keynote speakers, you can expect to learn about creating sustainable and inclusive events to make your attendees come back for more every year. Am I telling you anything you didn't know? Okay, I don't think I've forgotten anything.
Hello, senors, and welcome to the Hilton London Metropole.
Brilliant. Cvent Connect Europe is back, and it's better than ever. Join us at the Hilton London Metropole from November 7th to 9th. You don't want to miss it.
Hello, and welcome to today's webinar, where we're going to take a peek behind the curtains of Cvent Connect Europe 2023. I almost can't believe I'm saying it, but I should believe it because Cvent Connect Europe is 1 month later than it normally is this year. So you would think in theory we have a lot more time to plan, but as you all know, when you're planning an event and you're in the throes of the final weeks, you're still go, go, go. So here we are in our go, go, go mode, just giving you a peek into what we're doing and some of the things that we've got planned for Cvent Connect Europe this year. Now, if you've forgotten the dates, which I would be very disappointed by, but if you have, they're on the 7th, 8th, and 9th of November. So even I've forgotten the dates of November this year. So it is in a month's time. So if you haven't registered already, get doing it. You can find the link to registration within the chat. I know one of my good moderators is going to put it in the chat for me as I speak, or you can go to our website at cvent.com. Now, bit of housekeeping before we start. If you do want to talk to each other, I always recommend it. There's nothing worse than being on a webinar and being by yourself. You've got me and you've got all of my guests that I'm going to bring, but it's always good for you to talk to each other. So you can go into the chat tool and talk to each other. Let everybody know where you're coming in from today. If you do want to ask questions, I have moderators and my co-guests that will be able to answer the questions for you as we go along in this webinar. We're probably not going to have a dedicated Q&A section because there's a lot to get through, but do feel free to ask those questions. And if you have any general questions that maybe we can't answer, if you're one of our customers, feel free to ask your account manager. Now, with all of that said, let's deep dive and get straight into this webinar. So I'm just going to start with a bit of a recap of what happened last year, and then you're going to see it for yourself. So last year, we had almost 1,000 people on site, including Cventers, media partners, customers, prospects, sponsors, vendors, all sorts of people, and it was a blast. And I know that, you know, some of you might have come along and you're thinking, what's going to be new this year? So if you stay tuned, you'll hear some of the newness that's going to happen this year. But before we do that, why don't we take a look at what happened last year?
To be back in-person events. I mean, nothing beats face-to-face.
I think we've been waiting for this moment for a long time.
We as event managers in the real life cannot talk to each other because we're so stressed. So Event Connect is for us.
The keynote this morning by Ashley Banjo was really interesting.
I think his talk was very inspirational. I had a quick cheeky photo.
Wasn't that fantastic just seeing what was happening last year? And I'm really glad they didn't catch me on camera running from one breakout room to another because that would be embarrassing. But someone who knows all about running from one breakout room to another is our head planner for this event, Paulina. Paulina, welcome.
Hi, Felicia. Hi, everyone. So nice to see you.
I'm so glad you could join us. I know that you're in between flying from one venue to another and planning this event and that. So I really do appreciate you joining us. But aren't you just excited for Event Connect Europe this year?
I cannot wait. We've had more time to plan this event. So a lot of really intentional decisions have been made to offer, really an enhanced attendee experience. So excited to get into all of the goodness with you.
Brilliant. So let's start with that first intentional decision. Big reveal this year was that we moved from the Intercon. I've had people always asking me, aren't you in the Intercon this year? And I'm like, no, we're somewhere completely new. So could you let us know where we are and why this venue was chosen?
Yeah. So, we rely deeply on our post-event attendee feedback. And a lot of that survey feedback noted that, there was a desire for a more central London location. And so obviously we wanted to activate off of all of our attendees' feedback and really try to deliver an experience that both meets our attendee goals, but obviously, of course, our business objectives. And I really think we've found the perfect recipe for hosting this year's event. We're really excited to be hosting at the Hilton London Metropole in central London. It has a beautiful, rich history, which we'll get into in a little bit. But for us, it's really about access, right? We want to make our attendees' experience as seamless as possible. And so that central location makes it available for attendees who perhaps may not have joined us in prior years just because of the unique location of the Intercon. So we're really excited to try this new location out and see, what the efficiencies are by hosting there.
Brilliant. And I know for us as Cventers, it's very easy to get to because we're in Paddington and so is the Hilton. So it's great. It's just down the road. But I know, we've been there several times. I'm going to say personally, it's been not that there's any hotel that isn't accommodating, but they are fantastic. When you go on site, they're always willing to show you, the east to west story or the sustainability. So give us a little bit of a flavor of, what we can expect from this venue.
Yeah, so I had the luxury of being able to do a formal site visit with you and the team earlier this year in June, and it was really special to hear our Hilton representative kind of walk us through the history, like you mentioned. As you enter the hotel lobby, there's this you're greeted with this sort of East London decor and artwork, and as you make your way through the hotel, you sort of start to see different elements come to life through the aesthetic. Through the bow bar, even as you get your way to the conference center, the conference rooms are called Kensington or Richmond. And so there are these little details that tell a really beautiful story that I think is really interesting for event professionals like myself and those that attend Connect. The hotel is 1,100 rooms. Like you mentioned, it's just a couple steps away from Paddington Station. So really accessible for those traveling internationally to take the Heathrow Express. I felt like a local Londoner being able to just walk from Paddington to the hotel myself. So, what they do though is, like you said, it is a real community effort. Everyone there is really charged with taking care of their attendees. And that is exactly the type of host property we want to partner with. Other elements, there are some really cool meeting spaces. Room 23, which is at the very, very top of the property, has a beautiful, beautiful, almost 360 view of the entire London skyline. They just recently did a massive renovation on one of their larger ballrooms, the Admiral Suite, which many of you will get to experience as our general session space. So really excited to kind of create a unique attendee journey throughout the the hotel spaces as well for all of you.
Yeah, perfect. And one of the big things that, I walked in recently to do something with a project called the Felix Project. So we were invited to come and repackage food that hadn't been eaten the day before, and the chef cooked it up into a wonderful curry. And myself, one of our local planners, and other businesses came and packed up the food. And it was so nice. And as soon as I walked in the hotel, no one really knew who I was because I wasn't specifically there saying, "Hi, I'm meeting so and so." And someone said, "How can I help you?" And she was just so ready to go. And I just think that is the essence of them. And they love everything they do. And they love that Felix project because it is about giving back to the community. Do you have any of those other sustainable efforts that the hotel has brought in to, help planners?
Yeah, I mean, one of the interesting options is there is a keyless option, so you can utilize a mobile app to access your hotel room, which obviously means less plastic, less waste. Their food sourcing process is very much a local experience. They source all of their primary food sources from within 100 miles of the hotel. So there's this really, I guess, intentional sustainability story that they're trying to lean into, which of course we love and intend to amplify throughout the entire Connect experience.
Yeah, perfect. And I remember I had a drink in the boba, and all the fruit that was in the drink was again, recycled, and everything they use for their smoothies. It's just story after story. So I think people are going to be really delighted. Now, speaking of people, let's get into our Connect story with our attendees. Can you tell us anything about, the experience for our attendees on site with keynotes or just what they can expect to see?
Yeah, I think, kind of going back to that whole, we heard you loud and clear in our post-event feedback survey. Each year we really take a pretty prescriptive approach about the content that we make available to our attendees on site. We want to make sure that if you're, a power user and in our products and in our tools, that we're offering, significant training opportunities. And this year we have made training included in your registration fee. So that is basically the biggest headline that I want to share today, that, training is complimentary. Essentially, it's part of your registration fee. We highly, highly encourage everyone to sign up. We have 8 unique titles, so plenty of options to support all of your CVent solution needs. In addition to that, we also want to make sure that we're touching on trends in the industry, keeping mindful about, thought leadership topics such as sustainability, diversity, equity, inclusion, right? So all of that goodness, we're hoping to build off of the successful programs that we had last year. Another unique element this year, each year we host tech tours and they end up being our most popular session. This year we're taking a new approach. I don't want to give too much away, but the hope is that you get to experience all of the goodness of, how our products and solutions can help you in your planning process. But we're also adding a layer of best practices around event design and production. So 3 layers of all the goodness and information for you all to take into the tech tour experience as well.
I love that so much. It's a question that people ask both of us quite a lot. So I can understand that. So I'm going to fast forward for us a bit into CVent Connect Europe Frankfurt. That's happening again. I love it because, last year it was an experiment. What's happening this year, Paulina?
Yeah, last year it was an experiment. We kind of think of it as this sort of hub and spoke model, right? They're able to experience our general session, our main stage CEO keynote and welcome, and then our product roadmaps. They're getting it live streamed to their venue on site. This year we've increased programming, I think like 2x. We now have breakout sessions. We now have an innovation pavilion. Attendees on site will be able to meet with CVenters to talk about account questions, account reviews, and we're really, really excited. We're also going to be offering a tech tour experience and, of course, a wonderful networking evening event. So a full program, so much to take in, and really excited to see all the goodness that comes out of our Frankfurt event.
Oh, so am I. I'm hoping that one day we can do CVent Connect Spain, CVent Connect France, and we can just keep going with our hub and spoke model. Is there any final words you want to say for us? Any sort of tips, hints, tricks that you want to give to us before we say bye?
Yeah, of course. I mean, obviously, we really encourage attendees to join us in person and on site because you really can't replicate the magic that takes place on site. But as in prior years, this year will be a hybrid experience. So if you're unable to join us, please tune in virtually. We'll be live streaming all of our general sessions. We've actually incorporated a new production element, our stream stage. So you'll get additional content this year as a virtual attendee. And of course, all of the networking experiences happening on site, we're going to try to offer some unique networking experiences for those tuning in virtually as well. So a great experience across the board and really excited to welcome everyone.
Brilliant. Thank you so much, Paulina, for joining me. Can't wait to see you.
Can't wait to see you. Thank you.
Bye. Well, as Paulina exits, I'm just going to say it is, when she's going through all those bits and pieces, it's really exciting. I'm a local marketer. This to me is means a lot to us here. And I know from a marketing perspective, this is one of our biggest campaigns of the year. And you'll hear me talk about that with our sales leader, Jamie, later. But just going to give you a bit of my view on some of the decisions that we've made. I'm a real content person. I'm always thinking about our sessions, our breakout sessions, what's going to go on that stream stage, what's going to be in general session. And that has helped to influence some of our choices with keynotes. So we were looking originally for, big hitter keynote, and we do have one, but typically we'd have maybe 2 or 3. But this year we decided to be a bit wiser with how we spent our budget. And I know a lot of you out there that plan events are thinking that, well, how do we extend our budget? How do we do more with less? How can we get more out of what we're spending? So we decided to give you a conference host this year. Rather than giving you a 30, 45-minute session, with one of our keynotes, we thought we'd take that budget and split it out through the conference. So you're like, why are you taking so long to tell us who it is, Felicia? Well, it's Claudia Winkleman is joining us on site for the entire conference, which I think is just so exciting because not only is she going to be our main host and be able to moderate some of our bigger sessions like our typically our sustainability sessions or accessibility, but also things like women in leadership, which I know, she's a real big advocate for. And it's great to have somebody on stage who's not just a celebrity host, but actually has a heart and a passion for the topics that we're talking about. So that's one of our announcements. And our second, you might just have to wait and see. If you read your emails, you'll see, or if you go onto our website, you'll see who our other keynote speaker is. So unless Jamie drops it later, because he's not very good at keeping secrets. But we have lots of topics this year, like people versus technology, which is a big session coming up because there's a lot of talk around AI and tech and what that's going to do. And should we be fearful of it? Should we be embracing it? Or we're going to have an all-out debate on stage that you can be a part of if you come over to CVent Connect Europe. In addition to that, like I mentioned, sessions on sustainability and responsible consumption, alongside trends, industry trends, and just so much programming this year. And it's just really exciting to be running it. So to talk through some of our additional programs, I'm going to invite my colleague Lawrence to join us so that we can talk to Lawrence about some of the programs he's running. Hi, Lawrence.
Hello, Felicia. Thanks for bringing me on.
No worries. So let's get straight into it. I know that we're looking at this big thing like CVent Connect Europe, such a big program, but there are these, more niche focus segments and programming that we're running during the event. And I just wanted you to give us a brief overview of, what's happening for leaders that are coming to our event.
Yeah, sure. Well, on the Wednesday of the event, of course, we kick off with our opening keynote from our CEO, Reggie Agarwal. And then there's the product roadmap, which is always a very popular session. Everyone wants to know what's coming up with CVent products and solutions, what's important in the industry at the moment. But in addition to that, and following those, there'll be the Leadership Summit. And this is going to be a 3-hour invites-only program, and it's going to be tackling the key questions which define a best-in-class meetings and event program. So these leaders will be coming together to rediscuss these challenges together. A lot of these conversations will be things that are happening behind the scenes, which maybe they don't even realize other individuals are experiencing. So they're all going to be in the same room and really figure these things out together.
Brilliant. I know people love that. I've met with other leaders myself, and they're always talking about, I just want to know what other people are thinking and doing and what decisions they're making. So can you tell us any of the focus areas that we can expect that group to be talking about?
Sure. Yeah. Well, before the event, we really wanted to understand this. What do people actually want to talk about on the day? What's keeping them up at night? What's the big topics in these meetings, which influence big decisions across the meetings and event strategy? Company-wide technology adoption was one of the biggest of these conversation topics. And we're going to be really exploring this from not just rolling out technology across the business of all the issues and challenges that can come into that when it comes to a big global business, but also rolling that out across different markets. These are multinational companies, and there are so many different considerations that need to be taken into account. And the hope is that they'll be able to really share these valuable insights together and then inform these strategies. In terms of the type of programming that they can expect on that day, it'll be a mixture of both sessions where they can hear from leaders about how they're tackling these issues, but also interactive workshops, discussing together, knowledge sharing, these kind of conversations where they can hear ideas which maybe they hadn't thought about before, and then they can turn those into immediate meaningful action.
Brilliant. I hope I get a chance to pass through, because it sounds like it would just be an amazing time for all those people to come up with things that they can take forward in their businesses. And I know similarly we have, a partner summit, and for us partners, we consider to be agencies. Can you tell us a bit more about the partner summit?
Yep, sure. Well, if on Wednesday we had that leadership summit, on the Thursday we have the partner summit, and this is going to be a half-day event, and it's truly designed for these agencies that we work with, that we try to support as much as possible, because we understand that the set of challenges that they have to experience is different. It can't really just be covered by the same kind of programming that we have across the event. We wanted to make sure they have a tailored experience which really talks to what they are facing day in, day out. For one thing, their time is valuable. They're working on so many different events with so many different clients, client after client. And with each of these, they have to consider different technology that is coming into the picture. How are these being integrated together? And looking at different just relationships with stakeholder management. Maybe there are decentralized models, maybe there are centralized models in these businesses that they work with. So we really want to have this one place where these like-minded individuals can come together and just speak through things together and then hear from each other.
Yeah, and what does that programming look like for that audience?
Yeah, sure. So it's going to be a mix. On one hand, we'll be showcasing how they can overcome the different challenges which we're hearing can be looked at in the industry from the experts and just the research that we've heard over the past year. But also, as important as that is actually just giving them the chance to talk to each other so they can hear each other's challenges, hear how they're actually tackling all these issues. Issues like, how do you fix the staff shortages, which are key at the moment? Like I said, the integrations, what kind of steps are they taking to manage this for small organizations as well as when they're working with larger organizations? And like I say, knowledge sharing, how can they do things differently? Maybe ways which they didn't really consider before. And yeah, again, it's separated from the main programming. We hope that the main programming, of course, will be useful for these individuals too, who will be coming to the event. But we're going to be really diving into agency-specific challenges. And hopefully that will give people a sigh of relief when they see that other people, they're experiencing the same issues as themselves.
I love this so much. It's so good that we can work with, different types of partners and different groups that have, like you say, shared challenges. And we thank you a lot. I know, Lawrence, you're putting a lot of effort into working with, this programming and up leveling it for these groups. So thank you so much for joining us and letting us know what's happening.
Absolutely. Thank you very much.
Brilliant. Now, one of our most partners, what can I say? One of the people that we partner with most are the venues. When we think about Cvent, we often think about Cvent as kind of two sides of the same coin, where we're looking after our event planners, our agencies, our marketers, and on the other side of that coin, we look after our venues and all of the hospitality professionals that help to pretty much supply the event planners and the people on that side. So what better person to join me to talk about our next section than our Director of Marketing for Hospitality Solutions, Nicola. So Nicola, how are you feeling? I know you're just as stressed as me running this.
So I was going to ask you actually, Felicia, on a scale of 1 to 10, how stressed are you feeling right now? But
Not
I
at
know we'll
all.
get
No.
through it.
We will get through it, and you're my counterpart. I know when we sit in the office, we're literally back to back, plotting this. So I know we've got a lot going on. But what are the key sort of things that hoteliers and venues are thinking about, for Connect Europe this year?
Yeah, I think feedback from our hospitality audience, especially from last year, was really, really positive. So our hoteliers really love the fact about the event that there's this combination of networking opportunities with these event planners. They're absolutely prized customers. But also we have our educational sessions for them so they can learn as well as sort of the networking side, but also the opportunity to meet their Cvent reps as well and really discuss their account performance, make improvements, and sort of look at opportunities for the future. We know actually that our customers, they're seeing an unprecedented amount of interest actually at the moment. So the fact we've actually just completed our planner sourcing report just a few weeks ago, and 85% of the 600 planners that we looked at are currently sourcing for events, with 63% of those sourcing just in the next quarter. So I know on both sides of the coin, as you said, Felicia, it's super busy. But I think, yeah, from our hoteliers, they really enjoy Cvent Connect Europe because they can really walk away with that event information on how to best manage their MICE business, learn about the tools that can help improve their operational efficiency, which is particularly important for those that might be struggling with staff shortages at the moment, but also have that opportunity to hear feedback and trends from those event planners and their customers.
Brilliant. And are there any sessions or event features that they should attend this year that can help them with all those bits and pieces?
Quite a few. It's actually really difficult to pinpoint. I was thinking about this earlier. What do I highlight in this webinar? There's absolutely so much to cover. But Paulina touched on this a little bit earlier, and I wanted to reiterate it about our training as well, because this is actually the first time we're running it in a number of years, in person at least, for our hospitality professionals. So we have our training and certification that we're running on the 7th of November, and it's all about the Cvent supplier network. So it covers things like how to optimize your profile, how do you stand out from the competition, creating impactful proposals, and converting more business. So, and what's even better is that the training, not only do you get that certification, but it's also included as part of your Cvent Connect ticket at no extra cost as well. But aside from that, I would really say, first of all, I would encourage everybody to look at the website. We've got our agenda on there. It's got all the sessions. You can filter it out to whatever session type you might be interested in. But from our hospitality side, we have our roadmap, which we're running as usual. And that is really important for everybody to attend because it really shows our latest product developments and also our new product launches coming up as well. But aside from that, we also have sessions focused on corporate travel, automation, sustainability, which I know is a big theme for us this year, 2024 trends, how to convert more business, and much more as well, and with sessions designed as well, not just for sales and marketing professionals from hospitality, but for personas like general managers, operations, and also there's revenue management jobs. So there's something for everybody. And then, of course, last but no means least, it's we have our planner sourcing insight session, which I touched upon earlier. So that's always a really popular session that we have for both sides of our business. So we get planners and hoteliers attending that one.
Brilliant. I love the sound of that. It sounds like you're looking after everybody, it's something for everybody, as you said. And I know that networking is really important for our hotelier attendees. So could you just walk us through some of those networking opportunities that they'll get at the event?
Absolutely. There is a lot of networking opportunities, which is fantastic. So a couple of things I wanted to highlight was our daily meetups. So we have them designed for first timers. So if you are attending Cvent Connect Europe, I really would encourage anybody to go to that. It's great to sort of meet other people, again, from both sides of the industry. We have meetups for our award finalists and many more. Additionally, we have roundtable discussions taking place over lunch every day, our popular innovation pavilion with our happy hours, our dedicated networking breaks, obviously opportunities to network at our awards ceremony, and of course the closing party, which Felicia, I know you and I are probably the most excited about for the whole event. But one other networking experience I did want to highlight as well, which we've brought in, which is after listening to feedback from previous events, is our sourcing summit. And that is taking place on Tuesday, the 7th of November. So in short, this is essentially an afternoon that we've created of pre-scheduled appointments between event planners and hoteliers and event venues. Why would you want to get involved? Because as an event planner, we're bringing you some of the top venues, destinations, and event suppliers from all the way across Europe directly to you, so you can have a series of uninterrupted and really productive meetings without forfeiting any of your attendance on the rest of the main event, which we've covered and we know is really exciting. But the event planners as well, they also get a complimentary ticket to see Event Connect Europe, and also a little gift on us as well. So if you are an event planner, I would encourage you to check that out. And likewise for the hotels and destinations, this is an amazing way for you to get access to planners and really forge those new business relationships.
Brilliant. I'm going to ask our moderators to definitely put that in the chat so that people can get there really easily. And if they have any interest in attending the Sourcing Summit, they can sign up. So I know, many of people out there know that we acquired Venue Directory last year. Can we expect to see them involved in the event this year?
Absolutely. So Venue Directory are going to be there in full force at the event this year. And it's really important, I think, that everybody gets to meet their staff. So they will be at the Innovation Pavilion with their own stand each day. So feel free to pop along, meet their team members, get to learn about their different products and service offerings that we have both for hotels and agencies. They are also going to be hosting a session at the event as well, where they're going to be presenting some really cool case studies and success stories on venue sourcing, as well as providing an overview of their business as well for anybody who might want to find out some more.
Brilliant. Thank you so much, Nicola. Always good to speak to you on a webinar or two. But as we're going to carry on, we're going to end up talking finally with our European sales leader for event solutions, Jamie Vaughan. I partner so much with Jamie. He's probably bored of listening to me. Hi, Jamie.
Hey, Felicia. Could I ever get bored? Of course not. And before you start, two things. First of all, what do you mean I can't keep a secret? I'm very good at keeping secrets. And secondly, Claudia Winkleman, come on. I mean, when I heard this, I was thrilled to bits. And in the middle of Strictly season. That's a coup. That's a coup.
I thought that the other day. I was thinking, how is this happening?
I'm excited by that. And she's awesome. She's so strong. My wife has the podcast and everything. She listens to her a lot. She's very good.
Brilliant. Well, I'm glad I can delight your wife from time to time. Let's get into Cvent Connect Europe. We always say that, Cvent Connect Europe is our largest marketing campaign of the year. And as you heard, me and Nicola are pretty full on. How does this relate in the sales team?
Yeah, well, you're right. It's one of our biggest campaigns here in Europe. The energy goes into this. I can't believe it was a year ago already. I mean, it lasts. The longevity of that event gives us real credibility during the course of the year. But I'd like to stop and pause for a second. It's our largest event. If you actually think about it, and I'm going to caveat that because I'm going to use the word probably, it's probably the largest event tech conference that happens in Europe. It happens to be by us because we host it, but because of the way that we build it through community, and it is Cvent, but there's lots of community discussion around there. It's an event tech conference. Okay, so we host that. So my sales guys just say to me, Jamie, I'm so pleased I work for Cvent because we got the best products, obviously, but we have all this credibility through the marketing programs we do and the campaigns we do that add so much life to what it is we try and bring to the market. So I'm thrilled that we make this investment to make this happen.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Like when you say, probably the largest event tech conference, I know people will be racking their minds thinking, but don't I go to this? No, those are trade shows and they don't get the level and depth of programming that we're offering, for different communities that we're trying to build. And, we've spoken about a lot of partnerships and us working together to drive registration between sales and marketing, but actually we're building communities with this type of conference. Does your sales team feel that? And are you feeling that within the industry?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, the way the market's had the ebbs and flows of the last few years, what's been absolutely clear is we all suffer from the same issues and we're all in the same market together. So, when the pandemic was its worst, everyone was pulling together and rallying together to try and find out solutions. And I'm not talking about just from a vendor perspective. I'm talking about the market in general. I personally got a lot closer to a lot of my peers, a lot of the C-suite who own organizations, who organize events, what have you. So I felt that coming togetherness, and it hasn't gone. Actually, fun enough, now the market's open again, very much open for business and very much person to person and a bit of hybrid as well. We're finding that community spirit is maintained. So us putting events like this brings that community together. And I know you and I have worked on some of the program as well to make sure that voice absolutely comes together. And I think it was mentioned earlier, but we're actually having a partner summit, slightly different because that's bringing our agency partners into a room, but with that same mentality of talking about the industry and what we can do collective to improve things.
Yeah, and I think, we've spoken before. We go to the AEO conference and we invite them to connect. We go out to MPI, they're a partner of ours. We invite them back in. Same with ICE, Fast Forward 15. And you would have heard Lawrence talking about the leadership, group of people and the agencies. And I just feel there's something in that birds of a feather, trying to resolve issues together. And do you find that people can do that at Connect?
Yeah, I mean, we all go to these networks, we all speak, and we speak off record, and we have very open conversations. Normally, you sit in a room, and it's all very, this is what we're going to talk about today. What we've tried really hard to do is bring the industry in one room. And I know there's Cvent, obviously, we're going to talk about a product that's very interesting, and our CEO's really awesome, and all that, and we've got the celebrities. But we have lots of content that nothing to do with Cvent. Nothing at all to do with Cvent. This is community-led discussions, often delivered by the community to the community. It just happens to be on a Cvent stage, right? So that's quite rare for someone like a software vendor who is really ultimately there to be profit making, to put that element first when they're thinking about the program. So I think that's real reason for everyone to consider coming along in person or just tuning in virtually for the content, because it's going to be very rich.
Yeah, and I know one of our sessions that we're working on curating is around safeguarding at events, for example. Like you said, nothing necessarily to do with Cvent, but it's a topic that came up earlier this year. Suddenly, one person we knew had an experience, and then other people we knew were saying, actually, I've had a negative experience at events around safeguarding, and so have I, almost a bit like a Me Too moment. And so, one of our main speakers on that stage is going to be talking. She led actually a pledge for lots of these partners we just spoke about to sign. We've signed a pledge to sign up to say we, pledge to be safe at events. These are really important topics right now, wouldn't you say?
100%, massively. And I'm the VP of Europe, right? And I'm a grey-haired middle-aged man. So what I care about safeguarding? Well, I also have a 26-year-old daughter who's in the industry. I have team members who I say, yeah, please go off to this event on your own. And I think, actually, is that safe? Is that the right thing to do? How much thought goes into those decisions? So I think, like all these things, you start with education. What does it mean? How do we think about this? Not changing everything, but just understanding what the implications are. So I think those things are really, really important. And I'm delighted that we bring those out. Really am.
Brilliant. I'm picking up on your passion, Jamie, which is just great. And we always need, advocates and voices. What are you going to be doing on site, and what's your team going to be getting stuck into on the day?
I mean, there is so much going on, right? So it's also a wonderful opportunity for our clients and our prospects who will come together with us to meet with their teams, their peers, their account management team, and or their sales team, and or their client services team. And when you think about our business, we're nearly 5,000 staff. We are a very big company, but we also have Reggie, the founder, and Chuck and DQ, the three founders of the business, in the same room. There is an opportunity for our prospects to meet the founder of our business. So we just rally around to make sure that we put all the measures in place that all our delegates get a great experience, of course, but they may come with questions, and they may come with concerns. They may come with issues or whatever it may be, and we can embrace that. If it's a product or customer care discussion, let's talk about it. Let's find a path, because we are very open, very transparent how we run our business. And there's two, there's the Las Vegas version, but this is the London version, the European version, where we will sit in a room and say, let's talk about this. Let's sort this out. So I'll mobilize the entire European team to make sure they're talking to clients, helping people out, making sure they're guiding them. Part of that guiding process is in the process of inviting our prospects. We will actually say, hey, I know a little bit about you and your business. I think these sessions are suitable for you. So we even go so far as to advise certain sessions for some of our clients to give them a nudge in the right direction.
Yeah, absolutely. And I love the fact you said, when people think about it, you've got the founders of the business, you've got, the heads of technology coming over. If this is that moment where you ever wanted to kind of say, I wish you made this, or
Yeah.
could your product do that? I mean, this is exactly what
Yeah.
Event Connect Europe is for.
Oh, that happens. I assure you. And when a client says to my founder Reggie, "You should build this," and he goes, I'm thinking, what's going through his mind right now? So that's good fun. That's all part of the fun. One of the
But
other
I
things,
love it. Go
it's
on.
great. I think one of the things to consider is, of course, because of the ebbs and flows of the market, there's been, we all know, enormous consolidation in the market over the last few years, and that was horrific at the time. But now we're getting a lot of fresh blood in the industry.
Mm.
So coming to Connect is also an opportunity to experience everything about an event. We have all our tech on show. We have the tech tours. I won't bore you with that a lot, but the audience hopefully know that's the thing. But they can come and experience these things, and we can't just assume that all our prospects clients know everything about event tech, right? Because there's been so much change. So it's just a great matrix of opportunity to come and learn more about the industry.
Yeah, brilliant. And I know that, we've said a lot about the wider topics, the community building, the difference in programs. We've got a new venue. We've got, it's bells and whistles, but really and truly, when we come down to it, why do we run events like this? Yes, for all those reasons, but for you, does it not absolutely fuel your sales funnel? Isn't that the benefit of running, user events like this?
Yeah, look, being totally candid, as the commercial lead for Europe, I want to make more money. So the bottom line is, you do that by offering by presenting the transparency in our customer care, our solutions, and our sales process. So as I said earlier about the getting togetherness, we will invite lots of prospects who are thinking about using Cvent. We may invite customers we may have lost 3 years ago to come back and have a look at us again, and we invite our current customers to think about how they use it. So the whole mechanism is a wonderful insight to who we are. And yes, we're also in that very exciting period we call Q4. So it's just crazy times for us right now. Bung and Steven in the middle is kind of crazy because it's our busiest time of the year. It's also wonderful because it fuels so much dialogue and so much debate, and we live off Connect for quite some time. So yeah, absolutely. I work for a company that I'm very, very happy that I have a team with you and the guys that put the energy to bring this to life. So it just makes us shine. It's wonderful.
Yeah, and I mentioned that not to kind of sort of toot our horn about filling sales funnels, but I mentioned that because a lot of people that run their events out there are marketers like me or planners like Paulina, and they are trying to get their seat around the table to prove the value of events. And I know, like I said, you're quite passionate. You understand that by us running an event like this, similar to the people that are coming to this event, they've got all of the, I don't know, will behind them to kind of say we should have events, but
Yeah.
sometimes they need to convince their sales leaders and their boards that these events are very important, they should be invested in.
100%. And also, pretty much similar to what you said, it's really important for us to demonstrate to our clients that we understand events and we actually know how to put on an event. And we've won awards. We won awards for our own events. So we are actually, by definition, an event organizer in our own right. We do plenty of events, and that's actually rather reassuring when we speak to them. Say, do you know what? I do feel your pain. I do actually understand what your issue is here, and here's something that we've deployed that I think might be good for you. It makes
Yeah,
it really strong, really believable.
I love that. And we're not just, like you say, a tech company. Of course we are, but we get events. We get events so much. We really enjoy ourselves at these events. We love a good after party. In fact, we love a party on the stand if we're at IMEX. So I know this year, it was alluded to earlier, we have put a lot of effort into our after party. And people often say, "I'll really get to know you guys," when they come and they meet us. So are you looking forward to the after party, Jamie?
Never been to one. Not that I can remember, and that's not a good sign. No, I'm joking. We do like to party. It's always good fun. They're never disappointing. So I'm not sure we're going to go into these in a minute, but I know your venue is going to be special. So that's amazing. But I would like to touch also on the Excellence Awards that we launched last year. So to celebrate our clients' success, we put on a award ceremony within Cvent within Connect, beg your pardon, in the evening, to celebrate certain clients and to recognize the efforts our clients have done. And I was on one of the voting panels, and we've had so many submissions. I mean, it is amazing that we're actually putting a Cvent award ceremony within this whole process. Another event within an event. I mean, you guys are absolutely incredible. But last year was really successful, and this year looks like it's going to be mind bending. It's so much fun.
Brilliant. Yes. I will give you the details of the party. You said your party, which means you don't know where it is, Jamie, isn't it? That's what's happening. So this year it is in London Rain, which is in Piccadilly, really close to our venue. It's about 8 minutes away. And I know that helps because in the past we've had, coaches shuttling you from East London to West London. It's taken a while. So we really did think about that attendee experience this year. And we are very local. So it's going to be fun. Are you going to have people on your shoulders again, Jamie?
You're not supposed to tell him on that. That wasn't on camera, but possibly.
Well, there's a lot to look forward to. I even have some special celebrity guests coming out for the London Rain. So if anyone's thinking, hey, look, it's just 2 days of hard work. No, it isn't. Lots of fun, lots of networking opportunities, excellence awards, like you said, and then we all let our hair down at the end of it. So
and I'll leave it like that's actually really important because I get so much done at networking events and parties, right? Because you see a different side to people. So you spend the day together in your smart clothes and doing the stuff, and then you let your hair down. You have even more rewarding conversations. So it's just a really nice way to cap the whole event. Love it.
Brilliant. Well, thank you, Jamie, for giving us your thoughts and for partnering so well with the marketing and events team.
Always.
Appreciate it. Well, that brings us really to the close of our webinar. I hope that you have found out a little bit more about what we have in store for you this year at Cvent Connect Europe. Like I said, it's happening on the 7th, 8th and 9th of November. Definitely got the month right that time. And you can go to our website to register, or the details will be on your screen as they are right now. And that's what the website looks like. You can view the agenda. There's frequently asked questions. You can explore everything about the event, but please do register. If you can't come in person, register to attend virtually, and you'll gain access to our sessions. You will miss the after party if you don't come down in person, but that's okay. We'll forgive that. If you have any questions, please do get them in now, or like I said, you can ask your account manager if you have one, or hit me up on LinkedIn. But we will try our best to answer as many questions ahead of the day. If not, we'll see you there. I hope to see you there, and I hope that you've enjoyed today's webinar.